All right. Good evening, everyone. I should say it's going to be a potentially stormy night tonight, so let's just get right on to it. So here's a current radar that we have from north of Abilene. I think this is the Abilene radar. And let me stop this for a second. Go back here. All right. So the thunderstorms are starting to form, like we thought, along the dry line. And as you can see, that's actually not severe warned. It was severe warned earlier, but now they canceled that one. But then they issued a severe weather statement for this particular storm. So this storm already has the potential for about 50-mile-an-hour winds and hail. So that's something that we definitely want to keep an eye on as far as going through the overnight hours, as far as what we're going to have to expect. Now, like I said in my podcast updates earlier, I don't really expect it to be terribly bad here. I don't think we're going to see the big tornadoes or the big giant hail. Hopefully, no hail at all. But I think we will see some damaging wind gusts in certain spots, much like we had on the last event. All right, so let's go to the graphics here and see what we can talk about. Okay, so this is the most up-to-date Storm Prediction Center thunderstorm risk map, and as we've always talked about, the darker green is marginal risk, the yellow is slight risk, and the orange in this case is the enhanced risk. So Dallas-Fort Worth is just outside the enhanced risk to the east, and of course what that can tell you can glean from that, is that we will most likely not see the worst of these storms. These storms will start to weaken as they get closer to Dallas Fort Worth. But we're going to talk about what we can expect nonetheless. All right, so let's go to some more graphics here. All right, so this is the latest watch we have issued right now. Now, this does not include the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, so don't worry about that. But Mineral Wells, Stephenville, Bowie, west from there, severe thunderstorm watch until 3 a.m. So there's a couple things we can glean from that. Number one is, these storms are not expected to clear this particular watch at the very eastern end of it until 3 a.m. or so. So if you do some basic math and extrapolation, you'll see that we probably won't expect storms here till around that time frame, 3, 4 a.m. is what we're looking at. Now that could change. The storms are just now starting to form, so it's something that we definitely it's going to be flexible as far as whether they get here at 3 a.m. or before or after. We're just going to have to watch that. So now let me see if I can pull this one. Yeah, okay. So this is the tornado probabilities, and as you can see, and I talked about that this morning, is that the tornado threat's really not very big. We don't have a big chance, a good chance, I should say, for tornado development. 2% chance. You see the 5% chance category in west central Oklahoma, northwest Texas. So I think, and that will be early on in this event, you will see that the tornado threat will be much greater in western Oklahoma. All right, so now let's see if I can find the wind here. Oh, that's not the one I want. Let's try. Okay, no, let's try this one. This is the one I wanted. All right, there we go. All right, so this is the wind probability map, wind outlook map, and again, probability of seeing winds in excess of 58 miles an hour. And as you see, we're in the 15% category there, 30% west of us. So again, 15% chance of seeing a wind gust of 58 miles an hour or greater within 25 miles of a point, which you can make your house, of course. So 15% chance, that's not the greatest you'd want to see, but then again, it's not the 30%. So that's definitely something that we can be a little thankful for. And then lastly, the hail potential is much greater west of us. And I'm just checking one of my messages here real quick. I apologize. Let me check this real quick. Okay. And so, yeah, from a hail standpoint, I don't see that that's really a big threat here. Hold on a second. Let me try this. All right, there we go. My phone is going crazy here. Hold on a second, which usually happens. Okay. So I don't see, like I said, I don't see a big hail threat, but you can see in west central Oklahoma, you can see that the hail threat is much greater out there. So nothing to be too concerned about from a hail standpoint here. All right. So with that, let's go back to the radar and see what we got. Okay, no warnings. I don't think there's a warning here. Let me check. Well, that's the wrong screen. Let me check on this one. Nope, not yet. So still special weather statement. So we'll put this in motion here and give you an idea about what we can expect. These storms are starting to gain in number. You can see the line just starting to form, and that's what we expected. We expected that we would see some storms develop into a line, individual very soon in the evolution process, and then go into a line thereafter. So you're just starting to see that in this latest radar loop. And so what I am going to do is I'm going to stop this and expand this out a little bit and kind of give you an idea of what's going on up in Oklahoma. And let's get a closer radar here if we could do that. Yeah, so you could see, and I don't know if the Oklahoma City radar would be better for us. Yeah, a little bit better. So you put that in motion. Again, this is along the dry line, and that's probably the cold front area that you see that we're starting to see some development in Oklahoma that will extend to the south as time goes on. So okay, there you go. So you see these individual cells popping up real quick, and then they're converging, convening into a line, and so that's why you see that's what we can expect to see as the evening goes on. All right, so let's get back to the Dallas-Fort Worth radar here real quick. If I can get my radar to when we stop this, do this, get this back over here. The lovely internet. All right, so there's a there's a close-up of Dallas-Fort Worth. Let's zoom back out. There we go. Okay, so we'll zoom this in just a little bit. All right, so I'm going to actually go to the Abilene radar. And there we go. It gives you a little bit better idea of what's going on. Okay, so like I said, that's the latest. We don't technically have those as severe warned yet, but I imagine within the next couple of minutes, maybe 15 minutes, we'll start to see that. And then the show will begin. So timeline, I always want to talk about that. So unless something pops up between now and then, between here and there, I really is probably a better way to put it, I don't see us having that issue between now and certainly after midnight, the way where these are positioned now. So the best guess we have is after midnight, but probably closer to 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, just in time to wake you up out of your deep sleep, unfortunately. And so you can expect, really gusty winds, not large hail, but maybe small hail, I should say. And then you could also see, lightning, thunder. I don't think it's going to be as bad as it was last time, but it could be. So the other thing we have to watch for when this line gets more congealed, that we may see some tornadoes and large hail, not large hail, but spin up tornadoes along the kinks in the line. And that's something we'll have to watch out for because it's that's probably the biggest threat. That's certainly a bigger threat than hail. I have hail in the mind tonight because I was watching the report out west of big hails. I keep wanting to say large hail, but we don't have large hail here. At least that's not the chance to have large hail here. Okay, let me check something here real quick. And I don't see. I know we had a couple of comments. At least I thought we did. Let's see. Well, they're not showing up on this particular screen. Let me try something else here real quick. Because let's see. Okay, yeah, I saw a few. Thank you, Garrett. Wake me up when rain hits my lawn in Trophy Club. Okay. Yeah, Kara, good idea to turn the sprinklers off that come on in the morning. Yeah, I think that's a pretty safe bet. I think we're going to get some rain out of this. And then, not very much though, but yeah, you could probably turn the sprinklers off. And thank you, Sandra, for your comment. I appreciate that very much. And so let's see. I don't see anything else. All right. Well, that's really all I have for now. I just want to come on and give a quick update to see, to let everybody know what was going on. And like I said, so the bottom line is that there's not a whole lot to be concerned about, certainly within the next couple of hours, really after midnight. But after midnight, like I said, expect a line of storms to move through Dallas Fort Worth. Um, if they get as bad as it could, then I think the worst case scenario you would see is a spin up tornado or something like that. Not to alarm anybody, but that's definitely a possibility. But I think the much bigger threat is damaging straight line winds, and hopefully it's just more straight line winds as opposed to the damaging part. So we'll definitely look at that as far as being the greatest risk of severe weather, along with the good old lightning, thunder, heavy rain, and all that. So the good news is that once again, like a lot of these events, once it moves through your area, then you're done. You don't have to worry about it. But tomorrow, and especially Thursday, the system is so strong and dynamic. We're going to have a lot of winds come back on the backside of it. And so it's going to be really windy starting at the end of the day tomorrow, and then especially into Thursday, wind gusts to 40 miles an hour and possibly. So that's something that we'll watch on the back end of the storm. But, that's not our concern right now. The concern is watching these storms out west. So, again, not anything to worry about tonight. Just obviously, if something were to pop up, I would definitely pop back on and let you know, but I don't really expect that. But as you can see, this line is starting to form, get longer out west of Abilene, and I would expect that to continue, and I would expect this warnings to be issued as well as the storm gets, this line gets more expansive north and south. All right, I don't see, yes, Christy, I'm praying for no hail to you. I don't think, as I talked about earlier, I don't think that's a big issue, but it's definitely something we're going to have to look at. Don't think it's going to be a big issue. It's just that, is it possible? Yes, but is it probable? I don't think so. So, all right. Well, I'll keep watching it, and as always, I'm watching the weather, so you don't have to. Hope everyone has a great evening, and if I need to pop on before bedtime, I will. And I think between now and, since my bedtime's about 11, I won't be popping on after that. But if it's, we'll see how the line's looking about 10:30ish, and then if I feel like I need to pop back on, I will. As always, I appreciate everyone watching, and we will talk to you soon.